In this video, I'm going to offer you a number of ways to help you manage anxiety and stop the cycle of worry. So just try them out yourself as we go along and see which ones work best for you. It really helps to practice a few times when you're not feeling anxious so that you can remember how to do the techniques when you do feel anxious. The more you practice, the better they'll work for you. It's also useful to have at least two so that if one doesn't work in a particular situation, you can try a different one. So the first technique is a simple technique. It's called a grounding technique. 3, 2, 1. And what you do is you're looking at things, you're hearing things, and you're feeling things. And you're naming them out loud or silently to yourself. So you do 3 things you see, 2 things you hear, 1 thing you feel. Then you do 2 things you see, 1 thing you hear, then 1 thing you see, you close your eyes and relax. So just do this with me. So there's 3 things I'm seeing. I'm seeing a tree out there, I'm seeing a bird, and I'm seeing the door. 2 things I hear. I hear the bird fly away. I hear the breeze in the distance. 1 thing I feel some pressure on my backside where I'm sitting. So 2 things I see. I'm seeing the computer in front of me, and I'm seeing the keyboard. 1 thing I hear. Just heard another bird and the breeze, but those are 2 things. And then 1 thing I see. I'm looking at my screen and I'm seeing one of the folders. I close my eyes and I relax. Okay, that's the whole technique. 3, 2, 1. 3 things you see, 2 things you hear, and 1 thing you feel. The next technique I want you to try is positive self-talk. This is talking to yourself as if you're another person, giving yourself good advice, suggesting things which are going to help you, but not just thinking about them in your mind, but saying them out loud or saying them in your mind out loud. So you want to talk to yourself as if you're another person and you want to use your name. So I'm Roland. So I could say to myself, Roland, I know you're anxious, but maybe you're also a little bit excited. So that's looking at anxious and excitement, which are kind of similar in some ways. Roland, you just don't have all the answers at the moment. Maybe you need to wait and get more information so you can understand better. Roland, what are you really so frightened of? What's the worst thing that can happen? It won't be as bad as you think it is. Roland, what can you learn from this situation? What do you think, whatever's happening to you, what do you think it's for? What could you do with it that is positive? So those are some of the ideas that you might use if you're doing positive self-talk. But positive self-talk can be any phrase, anything that you say to yourself. But always try to talk to yourself as though you're a different person. It gives you a little bit of distance from the anxiety. So the next technique is a little bit more complicated. It's called the butterfly hug. It's a really quite a powerful technique, and I suggest that you really use it when you're very upset. You can be emotionally upset, or you're anxious, or you need to calm down in some ways. Basically, you cross your arms over your chest like you're giving yourself a hug. So your right hand is on your left shoulder. Your left hand is on your right shoulder. And you close your eyes. So that's the beginning of the technique. So let's do that again. Cross your arms like you're giving yourself a hug. Right hand on left shoulder, left hand on right shoulder. And you close your eyes, or you can just kind of look into the distance. And now you're going to gently tap your shoulders alternatively like the wings of a butterfly. So you tap slowly and rhythmically, about 1 or 2 seconds per tap. And as you do this, you focus on your breathing and try to feel as calm as you can. So you might imagine a peaceful scene like a beach or a forest or your favorite very nice calming place. You continue for a few minutes until you feel more centered or calm. You can also imagine you're like water flowing and moving. Imagine water flowing through you. So that's the whole of the technique. The butterfly hug. Close the arms and you're tapping. And you're closing your eyes and you're imagining some very peaceful, safe, calm place. And you're focusing on your breathing and also on your heart so that your heart can calm down. I do like to imagine water moving across my body, back and forth. That can be very soothing. So now another technique is what's called rhythmic breathing. Most of us, when we're feeling a little bit anxious, tend to breathe too much or too deeply. So what you want to do is just to take a couple of very deep cleansing breaths and then breathe rhythmically. So you inhale for 3 seconds, hold for 2 seconds, and you exhale for 4 seconds. A little longer on the exhale, then you hold for 2 seconds, and you continue again. So inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold. So first of all, just the two deep cleansing breaths. And then the rhythmic breathing. And you want to do this through your nose. So it's 1, 2, 3 through your nose. Hold, longer out breath. In through your nose. Hold, longer out breath. Hold. It's also useful to focus on your heart area while you're doing the breathing. This makes it more calming for you. But you're just trying to keep the breathing rhythmically going. This actually settles your heart down. Your whole nervous system will actually start to be a little calmer when you do that. Now, what if you're feeling very agitated and you need something quick and easy? Well, here's two very quick, easy techniques. So the first one I just call tense and relax. So you want to tense and hold all your muscles and you want to hold your breath for a few seconds until it's just a little uncomfortable. And then you release your breath and all the body tension in one go and relax as completely as you can. So I'm going to do this and I do it with my eyes closed. So you want to tense every muscle, including your toes, your hands, your shoulders. So you just tense, breathe, hold. And then deeply relax. It's good if you can do it and just relax into a chair. But you'll feel after the tension, your body just wants to let it all go. If you do that and the tension stays with you, you want to actually go on to a different technique because this one's not a good one for you. There's also a similar technique, and it's to stop you thinking. When your mind is going round and round and round and you can't stop that thoughts going round and round, you do what's called an eye roll and a deep breath. And it's really good for stopping your thinking. So when you close your eyelids, you look up underneath your eyelids as though you're looking up here. But you do it under your eyelids with your eyes closed. And while you do that, you take a very deep breath, roll those eyes up, and then relax. And you might want to do that a number of times. It does tend to stop your thinking quite quickly, but obviously, sometimes the thoughts will come back, and so you might want to try another technique or you might want to do it again. A very general technique is journaling. So you just write freely about whatever you're feeling, all the thoughts, all the feelings, all the things which are bothering you. And you name all the things that you're frightened of, you're anxious about, and you put them outside of yourself. And you can just write and not think about it. And then don't read it maybe for a little while, but come back and read it. And then notice how your feelings have changed. What's changed, what's shifted, and how it's helped to just put those things outside of yourself. If you have a tendency to worry late at night and wake up in the middle of the night thinking about this and that, what's really quite helpful is to write a list of not only what you need to do the next day, but all the things that you're worrying about. And you want to do this last thing before you sleep. And so that you don't think about those things if you wake in the night. When you're writing these things down, you tell yourself, there's really nothing I can do about any of this during the night. I am meant to be sleeping, but I will do what I can the next day. So it's basically telling yourself, I put everything that I need to do onto the piece of paper. I don't need to think about it until tomorrow. And that can often help your sleep be better. And, and the techniques that I'm talking about can actually help a lot with your sleep. One of the things which is similar to journaling and also similar to talking to yourself is to repeat affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you say about yourself. Even if you don't quite believe them, you say them and you try to say them to yourself in your mind or even out loud with conviction. You can say things, I am really safe right now. There's nothing to be frightened of. So you could say that, or it could be just, I am safe. I am safe. Or you can say, this feeling will pass. It won't go on forever. This feeling will pass. Or you could say yourself something like, I've gone through this before and I was okay. I can handle this. So you want to have these good, positive things that you say to yourself. And of course, you may not actually quite believe them in the moment, but it's very important to keep saying them to yourself so that they actually get really deep inside you. So the last thing I suggest is, of course, to talk to somebody. If you have a trusted friend, if you have somebody in your family who you know won't gossip about you, will keep confidence in anything you tell them, and will be supportive and not just try to give you solutions or tell you what to do. That's the kind of person who it's good to share those important and anxious thoughts that you might be having. So, of course, if things get really bad, then you might be thinking of a therapist or a counselor, or even joining a group. There's sometimes groups can be very helpful, support groups or therapy groups. If the worst comes to the worst, there's always somebody that you can phone up on a support line, one of these lines which have been set up to help people. So I hope you'll be able to use some of these ideas, try them out, practice as much as you can, and just see what works for yourself. You can always find these videos on YouTube, or you can find them on my website, roland-evans.com. Thank you.